Someone asked, how do you clean the gauges on the dashboard? Fortunately, like so many other questions, it's an oversimplification, because really when it comes to the dash and gauges, there's a lot of variables. So let me explain. We've got vents, we've got the buttons, we've got buttons that are commonly used, we've got dials that turn, you've got all kinds of, you've got the shifter, the steering wheel, there's all kinds of surfaces, materials. So point is it's a matter of technique, and really this requires very little technique. It's more about the right tools. So I have different brushes that I use for dusting. You'll notice that not only are these different brushes, but they are different lengths. They're also made out of different materials. This is a woman's makeup brush. I use this on the more sensitive areas of the dash, like the screens, the nav system, whatever you want to call this, the information center, on the instrument cluster. Now this cluster actually has one piece plastic that covers the whole cluster. Like on the Porsches, they'll have individualized gauge with a cover over it, and then you have all the intricate areas around each gauge. So every car is going to be case by case. Now, a couple warning points is that the older the car is, the more sensitive you have to be. Now, if you've ever been to a car wash, they will have a little disclaimer that says, we are not responsible for broken this or that. I always was perplexed by that, because I thought, well, geez, talk about a weasel clause or an escape clause. It's like basically you're not taking responsibility for anything. After I got into detailing, I understood why. Because not all manufacturers make things durable enough to actually clean them when they get dirty. So these buttons that are used by Johnny car owner can be so sensitive. Yeah, they work to use them, which is simply you just push them. But if you have, like, let's say a female driver that loves to goo up the makeup, and now this is covered in this white, gooey, oily mess, and you got to clean it, you've got to get pretty aggressive sometimes. You just have to apply some common sense. Not all cars are made the same. Not all materials are made the same. The more you spend on the car, typically the higher quality you're going to get in the manufacturing process as well as the material process. So this dusting brush I use because it's got more firm or stiffer bristles that will break loose the dust that collects within the vents. And you'll notice that the bristles are much longer than the bristles on my makeup brush. You can get these at any store that sells cosmetics, whether it's Target, Walmart, Sephora, go down the list. But they are very delicate, they're very soft, they will not scratch. So you get a high-end Rolls Royce or Bentley or whatever, and you're dusting off the wood veneer, let's say. This brush has the potential to do some scratching. This brush is very safe, gentle. Women actually use it on their face. So that's where you have to go into other industries and sometimes find the best tool. Now this was a $20 brush, which is pretty expensive for a detailing dusting brush, but it's very durable. It's the winning combination between being stiff and soft. So it's ideal to get in these deep crevasses of the vents. Same with up here, because right down in here you have a lip that will collect debris. As a cleaner on the inside, as a rule, I'm always going to reach for my all-purpose cleaner by Meguiar's. It's diluted 10-to-1. 10 parts water, 1 part solution or concentrate. One of my favorite products. I put it on this damp end, and now I go over the buttons and I rub them. Aggressive enough to do the job, but I don't get abusive. So I will rub it, I will grab it, I will rub the end of it until that residue of oils, body oils, hand oils, lotions, whatever you may find on there, stuff that maybe you don't even want to know about. And so ignorance in this moment sometimes is bliss. I like cars that are clean. Do I know how to detail a filthy, stinking car that you feel like you have to wear a full body condom because you're afraid you're going to catch some disease? Yes, I do. I've detailed some of the dirtiest cars. I would not even let my dog in there. They're so dirty and that filthy. And making detail, or my detail business, work for me is the ability to attract the right customer. And that's this kind of customer. The customer that has a nice car, can afford my services, knows how to shop value, and it's not grunt work. You know, so many of you would look at this and say, wow, what a walk in the park. It's like, well, yeah, you're right in a lot of ways. Of course, at this level, every little nuance of dirt is going to show because the car is that perfect. Okay, back for the finished product. The very last thing I do, I may dust down in here, and I will even wipe the face of it with a very clean microfiber that has been dampened with straight water. But my final wipe down will be this product, once again by Meguiar's Quick Interior Detailer. I'm using this specialized microfiber. It's very thin and lightweight. So I will use this to wipe down the wood, because honestly, even if you use straight water, it's going to leave some form of residue or water spots or something. Now on the black vinyl or leather, those types of materials, it's not going to show. But on any type of like satin finish of the shifter or the wood veneer or the lenses of the instrument cluster or the nav screen, it's going to show. And you may look at it and it may be perfect, but that's where lighting comes in, is suddenly the owner wanders into some bad lighting. Your mistakes or your hastiness is displayed in full view, and that's what you don't want. That's it as far as the instrument cluster goes, the gauges, so forth. Until next time.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks